To Your Eternity is a roller coaster of emotional drama and tragedy. That is a must-watch if you've yet seen it. Written by Yoshitoki Oima, who you might know for her other emotional work, A Silent Voice. She tells a tale of a stone given the name of Fushi that comes to learn more about the world and protect the humans and animals of this world. He learns about important simple necessities like food to survive or sorrow from losing someone you care about. And with Fushi being immortal, understands the feeling of loss many times from the many people he grows a bond with. Whether it was from the caring child March, the troublemaker Tanari, or from the flamboyant ego of Bon Uralis. But if not for one person, Fushi would never understand his purpose, feel emotion, or even see the world and meet the people he would forever cherish. This is the importance of the boy. His importance begins along with Fushi's beginning, stuck as a stone for what could have been eons until an animal dies on top of him. This creature will become the first living transformation he takes. Though his first moments of life weren't so happy, dealing with the feelings of pain for the very first time, or from the freezing cold piercing his body, Fushi could have been unhappy with life and learned to think of it as cruel. But those moments of discomfort would soon change. Not knowing who he is or what to do with his newborn life, he stumbles across a cabin and meets the boy for the very first time. Thinking he is a friend of his named Joan, he lets him into the warm cabin, and the narrator best explains how Fushi felt about him and what he would call home. Here there were many new and unfamiliar things. The pleasure it felt as its body temperature rose, an unidentifiable scent. This was an alluring space. If it could speak, it would say it wanted to stay here forever. Though he would find great companionship with the boy, he, however, felt lonely. He chats to who he thinks is John about how he stayed behind, as well as how he hold a bit of spite towards him for biting him in the leg, causing him to stay with the elders who couldn't make the journey to what is believed to be paradise. Now, the boy stands all alone with what's left of the village, hoping that one day they return to him, telling him stories of what is beyond the mountains and what paradise really was like. Tired of waiting, the boy, along with Fushi, decide to leave his home and try to make it to paradise on their own, where he hopes to find his loved ones. The journey would be tedious, cold, and dangerous, but the boy is determined to find them and see what the world had to offer. The boy's journey seemed at first a simple adventure, where he would learn more about the world and meet many friends along the way, a typical fantasy anime trope. But Oima's brilliant writing, who takes you on not only journeys of adventure, but those of emotion. The boy, inching farther from home, stumbles into a frozen river in a blizzard, wounding his leg in the process. He tries to stay warm while wrapping up his wound, but still not giving up on his journey. He wouldn't rest until he found what he was looking for, not even to rest and heal his body from his wounds and the elements. This is where we see the boy's desperation. He knows if he stops now, he would think to give up on his journey and return to die alone in that cabin. He desperately wanted companionship more than anything else in the world, even if it means he would have to die for it. Things unfortunately get worse, as the path he would take would lead him to what happened to his village. He would see remains of what were materials for their travels and small graves made by someone before they too suffered from their demise. Shocked at first, the boy tried to see if there may be a slight chance of hope, but then comes to the realization he was afraid to admit to himself. On his knees, he asks Fushi what he should do, thinking that Joan could talk. Unfortunately, the boy had been so lonely that he forgot Joan wasn't a person, just an animal. An animal he wanted to stay, and may have done something drastic to try and do that. Joan died near Fushi, and his death may have been caused by the boy's fear of loneliness. This is why when he saw Joan for the first time in weeks, he wasn't angry for running away, but happy he had someone to talk to again. But now, the boy breaks down, lost, wounded, emotionally distraught, and lonely. Realizing hope is all but lost, he goes home, defeated, still delusional, believing there may be a small chance of hope left to make it out into the world. But his pain keeps getting worse, from his leg still bleeding, and from him suffering from what could be hypothermia. We realize that it's too late for the boy. He's dying. Fushi sees firsthand the boy suffering, not knowing what to do or why he isn't getting better, until we see the boy's final moments in life. He decides to choose his final resting place and tells Fushi with his final breath.
僕、君にお願いがあるんだけど、僕のこと、ずっと覚えていて。
The boy had passed on. Fushi sees his friend die in front of him, someone who would make Fushi into the person he would later become, both figuratively and literally, as Fushi takes on the form of the boy that gave him a home. He unknowingly kept his promise and made the journey to find a paradise. Though the boy was gone, he goes on another journey, not to find paradise, but reunite with those he thought were gone. Those paths would lead him to where he could never truly meet Fushi. But he never truly met Fushi, thinking he was Joan. But now the boy heads off with Joan and his tribe to a better, more happier place where he is no longer alone. He had found paradise. Throughout the rest of To Your Eternity, everyone will forever know this face as a being named Fushi. He made his promise that he would forever remember the first person to show him compassion, how to eat, how to care, and most importantly, how to love. If not for him, Fushi may have lived through life hating it entirely, forever seeing the dark side of humanity, and even giving those a second chance at life. With all that said, I hope you can now understand the importance of the boy.